What's going on, guys? My name is Matt, and computer hardware prices are insane right now. SSDs are expensive, RAM is expensive, and GPUs are really expensive. This in turn has caused a lot of people to start considering buying consoles as opposed to building their own gaming PCs. This got me thinking about what kind of PC you could put together right now for the price of a console and how it would perform. Just to be clear, this isn't a console versus PC video, this is just meant to show you what you can get for the price of an Xbox One X. I didn't do any major deal hunting, and this is a PC you could go out and buy right now. So what parts can you get for $500, which is the same price as an Xbox One X? Well, at this time, budget builds really favor AMD. This will probably change when low-end Coffee Lake chipset boards come out for Intel, but for right now, AMD is the way to go. For this reason, this system is based around the AMD Ryzen 3 1200. At $99, the Ryzen 3 1200 provides an amazing amount of performance for the money and even gives you an upgrade path all the way up to an 8-core, 16-thread Ryzen 7 CPU. The Ryzen 3 1200 is a quad-core CPU and even has the ability to overclock, which we'll get into in a minute. Another great value add is that the CPU comes with the Wraith Stealth Cooler, which in terms of stock cooling gives a decent amount of headroom for overclocking and doesn't look half bad either. The CPU and cooler are being paired with the MSI B350M Pro VDH motherboard. This Micro ATX AM4 board at $70 provides all the features you could want, including plenty of I/O, an M.2 slot, and basic overclocking capabilities. I also really like the neutral color scheme of this board and think it fits well in the build. In terms of RAM, this PC is using a 2x4GB kit of Team Group T-Force Dark DDR4 RAM at 2400 MHz. This RAM comes in right around $90 right now, which is a pretty standard price for a dual channel 8GB kit. With Ryzen CPUs, you really need dual channel and decently fast RAM. This kit provides a good value and performance for this build, and it doesn't hurt that it looks really good and fits well with the overall color scheme. Moving on to the graphics card, this was definitely the biggest point of contention for the build. I was hoping to squeeze a GTX 1050 Ti into the build, but the fact the cheapest 1050 Ti right now is around $200, there was just no way to fit it into the budget. This meant I had to settle for the GTX 1050, which is still a really good 1080p video card. The one I went with is the GTX 1050 low profile from MSI, which is currently the cheapest one available at $130 after a $10 mail-in rebate. Obviously, we don't need a low profile GPU in this build, but having one doesn't hurt performance at all, and I was even able to overclock this guy a decent amount. With 2GB of video memory, this isn't the most future-proof card ever, but it'll certainly get the job done for the foreseeable future until prices stabilize and the market returns to normal. For storage, I just went with the 1TB Western Digital Blue mechanical hard drive. At around $50, this guy will be plenty of storage for the OS, programs, and plenty of games. If you want, you can spend a little bit more and add a 120GB SSD as a boot drive, but in all honesty, at this price point, it makes the most sense just to stick with a good old mechanical hard drive. To power this system is the EVGA 450 BT PSU. I picked this up on sale for $25, which for a 450 watt 80 plus bronze rated power supply with all black cables is a pretty good deal. Though this particular power supply may not be on sale right now, there are budget power supplies constantly going on sale, and I'll link the current best deal in the description down below. For the case, I knew I wanted to go cheap because I want the most performance for the money, so when I saw the Cooler Master Masterbox Lite 3.1 was on sale for $25 after a mail-in rebate, I knew I had to pick it up. It's a really good looking case with a full acrylic side panel window, good cable management, and an open layout for easy building. Even at its standard price of $40, it's honestly still a great deal. Though airflow obviously isn't the best on this case with minimal intake at the front, for a budget build like this, it works perfectly fine. The deal for this case should still be going on when the video goes live, but if not, there's always a handful of case options for $25 or less, and I'll make sure to link some of those in the description down below. Assembling the PC was pretty easy, and once it was all put together, I loaded on the free version of Windows 10, which if you want to learn more about, click the eye in the top right corner for a video I made on the subject. Once the OS was installed, I overclocked the CPU and graphics card, I loaded up some games and began testing. For benchmarks, I tested 5 games in total. Fortnite, PUBG, Overwatch, GTA 5, and Doom. And honestly, I was really impressed with how this system performed. Starting with Fortnite Battle Royale, I tested the system at 1080p, medium settings, and saw an average of 87 FPS and 1% lows of 70. This was a really good experience that would allow you to bump up the settings for better visuals and 60 FPS average, or even bump the settings down if your preference is high FPS. Moving on to PUBG, I tested the system at 1080p low settings and saw an average of 65 FPS with 1% lows of 50, which is nice to see as running PUBG at 60 FPS is no small feat. Next up is Overwatch, which I tested at a custom medium graphics preset, essentially putting each tab to medium and the render scale to 100%. This resulted in a buttery smooth 101 FPS average with 1% lows of 79. Moving on to GTA 5 at 1080p with most things set to high, which in GTA 5 is more like medium, the system saw an average of 84 FPS with 1% lows of 62. The last game I tested was just a multiplayer team deathmatch in Doom at 1080p medium settings. This resulted in an average of 75 FPS with 1% lows of 59. Overall, the system performed really well, averaging over 60 FPS in all these titles, and shows that even in today's market, you can put together a 60 FPS gaming PC for a reasonable price. With that being said, if you're watching this video in the future where GPU prices are priced reasonably and are considering building something like this, check the price of 1050 Ti's, and if they're back to normal, pick that up instead, as it shouldn't cost much more and will offer a noticeable bump in performance. So does this PC come close to the Xbox One X performance? Well, it's honestly hard to tell. This generation of consoles run different games at different resolutions and do other things like resolution scaling, which make it much harder to compare PCs directly to consoles. One big plus of the Xbox is the fact it can run many games in full 4K resolution, which I'm not sure this PC could run much of anything in 4K, but if you'd like to see me try and pit this PC up against some 4K gaming, let me know in the comments section down below. So yeah guys, I think this wraps this video up. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up, as well as consider subscribing for more PC and tech related content in the future. And as always, this is Matt from Tech by Matt, signing out.